Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Now guys, today we got some exciting news for Star Wars Battlefront 3 in terms of a leak that sounds reasonable, but very questionable at the same time, as well as news for the upcoming KOTOR game that's supposed to be coming out down the line and everything, and Massive and Ubisoft's upcoming open world Star Wars game. Let's talk about it. Alrighty guys, so starting off with the KOTOR game. What's going on with it? We haven't heard any rumors about it in a very long time, since February. Well, in a recent interview with Max and Jason, they actually end up having an interview basically. Max is asking Jason a few questions, and he ends up bringing KOTOR into play. He ends up asking what's going on with the game, and Jason ends up stating that Aspire Media is making the KOTOR game. Now, there's been a little bit of confusion on what's going on, whether it's a remake or a remastered. It is going to be a remake. The game's going to be built from the grounds up, and the game will be fitting into the new head canon, from what it seems like, which honestly is really exciting. Now, if you guys want to check out the interview for yourself, I'll link it down in the description below. But honestly, I'm pretty excited about this. For one, Knights of the Old Republic is coming to the canon finally, and I haven't gotten to play the previous games, so I really hope that Aspire Media can make this Knights of the Old Republic game fit in a way to where it makes sense in the canon, but as well as, like, to get you interested in the previous two games. Like, you won't have to play those two games to understand this game. I would kind of like to see that with this KOTOR game, which honestly I'm really excited about. Alright guys, next up is Battlefront 3. Now, a Reddit user went out and obviously gave out a bit of information about Battlefront 3. I mean, like, this has been like the fourth time that this has happened with Battlefront 3. But he ends up giving out some different details. He gives out 6 different details compared to all the other ones, which honestly seems pretty reasonable to me. There's one bit of details that kind of makes sense with the previous rumor, which we're going to get into right now. So this is what he ends up stating. Battlefront 3 will use Ahsoka and Coruscant for marketing, similar to Battlefront 2 with Maul and Naboo, and Battlefront 2015 with the AT-AT and Hoth. The second point that he gives off is that Ahsoka will be based on her appearance in The Mandalorian, with Rosario Dawson as the voice actor. So let's just stop right there. Okay, so I'm going to show you this image on the screen. Here is Coruscant. This is the leaked image that he ends up giving us, and this is actually in the Frostbite engine. There've actually been other YouTubers, I've talked to some other guys, and they've actually said that this is the Frostbite engine that EA and DICE use for their games. Now, you're probably thinking, well, is it the new Battlefront 2 mod that came out for Coruscant? No, that's actually Kashyyyk, just remodeled with modding. And mods can only do so much with the game. Like, mod creators, they can only do so many things with the game. But since Battlefront 2 hasn't been updated in a long time, they're now free to pretty much do whatever. To do something like this, it would be absolutely groundbreaking in the modding community, but that's not the case. This is actually from the Frostbite engine, and this, obviously it might look fake, but I'll pull up another image, and this is an image of Geonosis when they were actually putting it together. And the images, while they're completely different planets, you can tell that there are some similarities between both of these images in terms of the way that they're worked. Obviously, with buildings, you have different structures, and same with landscaping when it comes to Geonosis. Obviously, it has hills and rocks and trenches, but Coruscant is a complete city. It requires buildings, and I think that this image is actually real. Now, the next thing is Ahsoka Tano. Now, we've wanted Ahsoka Tano for the longest time. Dennis Remake, the lead head director for Battlefront 2 and Battlefront 2015, wanted to bring in Ahsoka, Ventress, Cad Bane, Padme Amidala, the Mandalorian, Moff Gideon. He wanted to bring these characters into the game, but never could because of other things that they were working on at the time. Now I think that this would be a huge thing for Battlefront 3 if this were to actually happen. But the thing is, now here's why I don't really 100% believe this. It's because he doesn't give any sources. He doesn't state that, oh, I've was with a friend who works with DICE, or I was hanging out with a family member who has a friend who works with DICE, or anything. He doesn't give out any of that information. But honestly, this is kind of exciting, and I would really like to see the teaser trailer. Now, I'm just going to go in a little bit of speculation. This is something that's been going on for a little bit in terms of speculation for the Battlefront 3 trailer. People are wanting to see a teaser trailer with the Battlefront 3 logo in it. But with this leak, this rumor, they can use Coruscant in the trailer with the voice of Ahsoka Tano and then show the Battlefront 3 logo. That would be one hell of a trailer, and I think fans would go nuts. Like, even like people who aren't Battlefront, like don't play the Battlefront games, who have seen Star Wars: The Clone Wars or The Mandalorian, they would go nuts seeing this trailer, that teaser trailer. So anyhow, that's Battlefront 3. Let's head into the Ubisoft and massive open world game. Alrighty guys, so one of the few details that we've been given about the open world Star Wars game made by Ubisoft and massive is that it's going to be based in the original trilogy. Now, this is something that we kind of figured. I mean, like, it's probably one of the most safest moves to do, but some people are kind of annoyed, which I can 100% understand why they're annoyed, because we're wanting something within the Clone Wars era or even the sequel trilogy. As much as people don't like the sequel trilogy, we would want to see something in the Clone Wars, but the original trilogy, it makes sense. It's probably one of the most safest things. Now, it also is stated that there will be no Jedi or Sith involved with the game, which I think is a pretty good choice to make. But you also gotta ask yourself, then what are they going to use in terms of the villain? Are they going to use like Grand Admiral Thrawn or something, or like where in the world is this going to be taking place? So we only know that it's original trilogy. The next thing is that they're going to be using the experience gathered from the recent releases, Division 1 and 2, and they're going to they would like to create a a wholly unique Star Wars experience that is unlike any existing Star Wars title yet. The game we're processing would combine tactical co-op, cover-based shooter game with the cinematic spectacle of the Star Wars universe, which is a huge thing to see that happen. The next thing that he ends up giving us is that we want to take a lot of what made the Division special and merge it with the Star Wars universe. We want to keep things like character creation, armor, weapons, looting, and collecting, co-op, PvP focus. We imagine the nature of the story to revolve around characters who are a part of basically the story. The next thing is that shoot, I lost my place. Okay, so one of the things that they're going to be using with the open world game is that they're actually going to be taking some inspiration from The Mandalorian from Season 1, where the Mandalorian would have to meet the armorer to get some Beskar plating. So basically, it's going to work in the same way, where you're going to have to do missions to get some extra equipment, like upgrade their weapons, armor, etc. And I think that's probably one of the most coolest things to see happen in the game. So, alright, so the final bit of detail about the open world Star Wars game before I end this video, they said that they envision their worlds as being unstable Imperial controlled worlds. Some might have active front lines where the gameplay looks more like the Battle of Mimban, which would be really cool to see Mimban in the game. I think that's one of the things that a lot of people wanted to see in Solo Star Wars Story. But he ends up continuing saying some might have rebel cells that will randomly attack Imperial checkpoints, like Jeddah in Rogue One. Some also might have warning criminal factions, like the end of Solo. Now, I think that's probably really cool. Now, this game is going to be 100% huge, and some of these details is absolutely insane, and this is definitely something that I would imagine an open world Star Wars game being. Similar to GTA and the Division games. Honestly, this is really exciting. So, anyhow, guys, that is pretty much it for all the Star Wars gaming news. The next video I'm planning on doing is talking about Rian Johnson's involvement with Star Wars, with the Mandalorian, and then I will finally review Falcon and the Winter Soldier next week. So anyway, guys, that is pretty much it. I'll see you all next time. Peace out.